Earlier this week, FinTech Global released its third annual InsurTech report, detailing the top 100 InsurTech companies in the world. Coming in right at the top was Aussie InsurTech Evari, and to tell us about the platform is CEO Daniel Fogarty. Hi Dan.
Great, thanks. Hi, thanks for having me on today.
Thanks for coming in, congrats. That's pretty cool, getting up there on the dais for the top 100. Well done.
Thank you.
For people who aren't familiar with Evari, tell us what you guys do.
Yeah, so we're an insurtech platform. So our clients are actually insurance companies and insurance businesses who want to update their digital capabilities. As you know, insurance has been slow to the party to get to the digital world, and we're providing a fully digital platform to be able to enable them to meet the needs of their clients and run their businesses a whole lot better.
And what drew you to this in the first place? Were you thinking, yeah, I do know they're dinosaurs and we're going to kind of try and ramp up the pace there a little bit, or what made you pick this space?
Yeah, look, I actually come from the dinosaurs. So I've had a long career. I used to run one of the insurance companies here in Australia, so Zurich Insurance for Australia and New Zealand. I was the CEO. And we actually had pretty good tech while we were at Zurich, but I knew that the tech could be so much better. Yeah. And really it was that experience of running a company like that and then dealing with customers all the time. When I was at Zurich, I used to love to go out at claims times because that's really where the rubber hits the road in insurance. And there's a few particular claims that stick in my head, but there's one just after the Brisbane flood, which is now a few years ago. At the time, Zurich was the only company that actually offered flood insurance for small businesses. So this guy had flood insurance, and he came in and he was absolutely ropeable. And as I looked into the situation, he'd been insured for about $500,000, but as our assessor went out there, the assessor said, look, there's at least $1.6 million worth of stock that's been damaged. And for a small business, I mean, you guys deal with small businesses all the time. This is a family who's just potentially lost $1.1 million because they had the wrong number in their insurance policy. And that nowadays, that number is sitting in MYOB, it's sitting in Xero, it's sitting in QuickBooks. How can you link that data into the whole insurance process? So really that's where we started, is we said, how do we link data into the insurance process so that insurance can be easy to buy, easy to manage, and flexible to the changing needs of customers.
And I suppose appropriate, and also sometimes save yourself from yourself when you're ticking all of those boxes. I've done it on insurance too, where I've just gone yes when I should have gone no on something, or the other way around. Yeah. And the next thing you know, the thing that you thought you were covered for is not there. And kind of, I wish sometimes somewhere along the way, someone had said, hey, are you sure that's what you meant to say? Is that the sort of thing that Evari can sort of put in there?
Yeah, we can check all those things with data. Yeah. And the way we started our life, we actually started as a direct to small business insurer, and we still do that business. We sell tradie insurance, and I can talk a bit more about that later. But we've really, with our software, with our platform, we can ask a whole lot of questions and then go and get data in the back end just to make sure that you're in the right space as well. So that and we do that, and because we know the big data that's out there is not always 100% reliable. So you want some of that data into the process, but then you want the customer to make the decision. I mean, it's really, at the end of the day, it's the customer who's got the risks and needs to decide how much they want to be insured for.
Now, you were talking about how Zurich was sort of at the forefront of tech when you were there, but it nonetheless inspired you to go harder. Does it surprise you now when you look at the marketing of some insurance companies, how much they are focused on the data and the technology behind their apps? And I'm thinking about claims processing nowadays, where you've got two people sort of having a little competition about how they lodge their claim. All of the tech behind that seems to have made it all so much faster and simpler. Yeah,
well, look, that's really what's happening with this whole insurtech wave that's happening around the world is how can we bring tech right across the value chain for insurance? And at claims time, there's a very obvious business case to be able to do that. The quicker you can get to a claim, the quicker you can manage that claim, then that's a much better outcome for the customer, and it's also a cheaper outcome for the insurer. So it's win-win, and so a lot of technology has started at the claims end. Where our technology operates is we operate right the way across the value chain. And we worked out that to really change the process, you can't just change one end or the other. You've got to get in the middle of the process, which is what our SaaS platform does.
And tell us now a little bit about, you mentioned it before, the tradie insurance. So how does that work, and certainly how did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, so it's really, tradies are, as you know, such a big part of the Australian economy. So we've got two products, tradies and professionals. And what we wanted to do was offer them a flexible insurance product. So what we've got in our product is a pause feature. So if you're a tradie, and particularly this year, a lot of them haven't been working full time. A lot of them have been, but they can. We've got a lot of people who come in Monday morning, put their insurance on because they're going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday evening they put their insurance on pause until Monday the next week, and that means they're saving money on their insurance, and it also means that we've got less exposure as well. So that's why we started with tradies, and the tradies love it because they can save a few dollars. It might pay for their coffee or for their beer or something else, and they feel like they're getting something back from the insurance.
You feel a little bit less guilty if the surf is up and you are going to take Friday off.
Yeah, that's right. You get some money back for it. So.
Now, you're talking about that whole platform thing. The insurance industry is in an incredibly challenging time right now. Sort of global warming is creating a whole bunch of unpredictable risks in there. How are you helping sort of deal with sort of managing risk within the insurance industry so that it remains viable in the process?
Yeah, look, it's quite interesting in the insurance industry now. We're really seeing a split of whether people are going digital or whether they're not going digital, and it's really back to those core issues you're saying. So a lot of people are, even before the global catastrophe risk. First of all, it's about COVID, about how you deal with lockdown, and that's been a challenge for a lot of these big companies. Then it's about the uncertainty about, well, we don't want to invest too much. But then we've got some other customers who are just going really hard at this. And I think the customers that go hard, the insurance companies that go hard at digital, the ones that are going to win. And they'll win because they can, like on our platform, they can bring data from different sources. So we're offering, so in the US, we help an insurance company there that's offering earthquake, landslide and flood insurance. And there we've loaded 220 million US addresses are loaded up into our system with their proprietary information, and they're bringing all this data so they can insure customers better for those risks across the US. And the same thing's happening here with people bringing data from different sources so they can better understand those risks.
Okay, so the win, what does it mean for you guys? Aside from being able to put your hand up and say we are one of the best in the world, do you think it'll help within the sector to sort of get the Evari name out there, make people stand up and pay attention and bring a little bit more business in? Is that one of the hopes?
Yeah, that is. And look, and the biggest market for us has actually been the US. So, and it's sort of how do you market there when you can't travel there? Yeah. This year's been particularly challenging for that. So yeah, we've already had contacts from lots of people through it being released last week, or earlier this week. So it's been it's already been good from that point of view. And insurance is a small world. I mean, insurance is one of those products that pretty much happens the same all the way around the world, and that's because the way that the risks are offlaid. There's sort of this direct insurance, which we all see as consumers. And then there's the reinsurance market, and then there's the cedants markets above that. So really things are packaged up in a similar way. So we can take something, and Australia is such a good place to develop a tech company because we've got the challenge of the geography and the catastrophe risk of the US. So you can deal with all those issues. We've got so many different nationalities here that we can test stuff and see whether it works. And then we can export that because our insurance market is quite well developed here down under, and I'm really proud to be an Australian taking technology and our expertise offshore because we're good at it.
And tell us what comes next. What does the next 12 months hold? Obviously, you've gone into the US. Do we see some acquisitions along the way? Do we just see further markets?
Yeah, so really for us, it's about building out our number of customers. So insurance companies are particularly conservative, as you probably noticed, and so some of them want to see it live with other people. So the sales cycle is quite long, and we've got a number of customers who we're implementing at the moment that will be in market over the next couple of months. And then other insurance companies will see them, with this knowledge that we're up there in the top insurtechs in the world. Then we get more people seeing us. We go and have a look at our reference sites, and really it's about growing the sales funnel. So really for us, 2021 is about growth. 2020 was about consolidation, making sure everything works, implementing some key customers, and then 21's about how can we grow more globally.
So it looks like you're having a lot of fun right now, Daniel.
Yeah, look, it's good. I mean, it's actually interesting being in a startup versus being in a big organisation. You know, there are so many things that are different. And you think, well, I've run a big company, I can run a startup. Well, no, you have to be retrained. And look, I'm very lucky. I have two great co-founders. You know, one was in his 20s when I started, and he's the one who's actually taught me a lot about how to be a startup guy. But it is actually a big change for someone to go from big business into the other side and be really bootstrapping and worried about where every dollar is.
Well, one of the great things about being a dinosaur is you can still evolve. So
Yeah, that's right.
thanks for joining us on Startup Data. Again, congratulations on being one of the world's top 100 insurtechs.
Great.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Daniel Fogarty.
Thanks for your time today.